Okay. Hello, folks, and thanks for tuning in to the Segilola Salami show. I'm your host, Segilola Salami. If this is your first time listening to the show is a virtual cafe with a group of book lovers chatting about indie books over virtual coffee. We talk about books by self-published authors from fiction to non-fiction, romance to sci-fi, as well as industry news. As a listener, what can you get out of the show, you ask? Well, good question. Well, you get to discover previously unknown books by self-published authors and hopefully would like one of them enough at least to go and buy it. You'll learn something about the business side of self-publishing, and if you're especially lucky, you may get a freebie at the end of the show. So keep listening. I have a one-year-old assistant, so you may hear her every now and then contribute to the discussion. This is a family-friendly show, and little me humans do read books too. If you would like your little human to be on the show, then please do get in touch. Today on the show, I have with me Ethan Howard. The versatile Ethan Howard is a freelance writer and a graduate of Rutgers University. He's a combat veteran who continues to serve in the military today through the reserves. Once an alternative school teacher and psychological consultant, Mr. Howard is now a director for a non-profit transitional housing program for young adults as a civilian and a volunteer for the homeless. He offers a unique perspective on the human mind. Mr. Howard is an avid reader with an affinity for the classics. His other hobbies include football, hiking, and board games with his wife and son. Well, he's got a very comprehensive bio. Hello, Ethan.
So, hi, how you doing?
Great. I'm good. I'm good as well, thanks. I was reading, I was thinking, oh my God, he's got everything going on. My second guest today is a gentleman by the name of Ben Bryant. Ben has appeared in primetime TV shows and commercials, acted on Broadway, sung at the Met, produced over 1,000 TV commercials, and dozens of industrial films. He's also worked as first ad on features, produced and directed over 50 talk shows. Now he shoots, directs, and edits all sorts of video productions. Excuse me. He recently completed a 3-volume memoir comprising The Stages, 1935 to 72, Circumstances Beyond My Control, 1972 to 90, and Waiting for Elizabeth, 1990 to 2014. Hello, Ben.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Let me make one minor correction there. In my film credits, I should have been more explicit. I don't remember how you pronounce it, but the term was first AD, which means first assistant director, which is the guy who basically runs the set for the director.
Oh, perfect. Because I was reading it and I couldn't tell. I was like, first ad?
I'm sorry about that. I forgot I'm using film production shorthand. I apologize.
Fair enough.
No, that's fine. So first assistant director on features, produced and directed over 50 films. So yes, we got there in the end. So my next guest is Max, and he would like to introduce himself. Go on, Max.
Oh wait, I would. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I am. Sorry, just a moment. Yeah, no, great to be here. I'm Max of That Man Max. I consult coaches, authors, and experts, public speakers, on how to build rapport with their audience with storytelling and email marketing best practices, so that way you turn your readers into lifetime customers.
Okay, perfect. And my next guest, last but not least, is a lady. So there's not just me and my little madame as the only lady today on the show, which is great. Her name is PJ. PJ Fiala. Hello, PJ.
Hello.
Yeah, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I live in the Midwest, Upper Midwest, and it's cold out right now. We're getting snow. I have 4 children, 3.5 grandchildren, and I just released my 5th book.
Oh, wow. Congrats. But see, I'm in London, and America is just one of those places that I think sometimes should just be a continent of its own. It's like one country has so many different time zones, and the different places just does my head in. So when you say, did you say Northwest, Midwest? Where is that?
Yeah, Upper Midwest. I'm in Wisconsin.
Right. Okay.
Oh, very cool.
See, because when people say things like that, it doesn't really make sense to me because London is, well, England is called, the United Kingdom is quite small, so it's kind of not, it's easier to have an idea of where places are. When you say it, you're like, I have no idea. But okay, that's fine. So I've just finished my virtual hot chocolate. I think everyone sort of figured it by now that my thing is hot chocolate. And I'm really looking for, I used to have this really massive mug, right? I mean, have you ever watched Cougar Town? Did you guys ever watch it?
Yes,
No,
I've seen it.
no.
So do you know, like, what's her name? She had this big Ben wine glass. I want something like that for hot chocolate. I had one that was closely sized to that, and then it broke, and I was really upset. And so I'm looking, and I've gone to all the shops. I've gone on Amazon, and I've gone to the normal cup, and they just have enough for one cup of hot chocolate. And I really want one that's got enough that I can have like 2 hot cups of hot chocolate in 1 cup. Then I don't feel guilty. You know when you just have it and then you just think, oh man, I've got to go and have another one. Whereas if I have it all in just one, then I feel like I've had one. You know, so I'm looking for someone. So if anyone ever sees a nice, big, massive, you know, mug, then please do.
Ball.
Well,
I'll keep that in mind. I can definitely picture that.
you know, so it's like, and I think the inspiration came, you know, when she's, what's her name again? I forgot her name now for this woman. Oh, do you know the lady, the main character in Cougar Town?
Courtney, what is
Yes.
it?
That's right.
Courtney
Courtney.
Cox?
Yeah, so you know she's got her nice wine glass. You know she called, I think it was Big Ben. Oh, I can't
Oh, yeah?
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's
she
the
had her
perfect
big.
name for it, though.
So it was this massive wine glass that was like just, oh, it was humongous. But so I want one that's for hot chocolates. But anyways, let's forget about hot chocolate.
Right.
What are you guys having? What is your poison for virtual cafe? If you went to a cafe, what would you guys normally have?
Well,
I'm in the same boat as you. All about the hot chocolate.
Okay. Extra chocolatey, extra milky, whipped cream on top, marshmallows.
Yes, the works, the works. At my favorite cafe, they actually do have like bowl-sized mugs, so you get a healthy portion for people like you and
Oh, good. How about you, PJ? What's your one?
If I'm going to a coffee shop, I always order the chai tea latte. Around the house, I'm just drinking water.
Oh. Now I have to have 2 cups a day. 1 in the morning to start off my day, and then 1 at the end of the day to send me to bed. Okay, so Ben, what about you?
well, I tend to drink coffee pretty much all day, and then in the evenings I drink green tea.
Nice, helps with
Ooh,
digestion.
the combo.
Okay, and Ethan, what about you?
No, I'm the strange one of the bunch because I actually don't drink coffee. So if I went to a cafe, I'd probably have, probably ice water, maybe orange juice.
Ah, nice. But I can see Ben. He's having his coffee. Okay, so let's leave a thing and just get on with it. Now, so serious bit. Now, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. The times are hard, financially at least. You know, people are having to make their dollars stretch or their pounds stretch further than ever before. You know, salaries, wages, everything, they sort of stayed put, but then the cost of living has gone up. So you find that there's very little left for luxuries. So whatever money that is left at the end of the day, you know, there's fierce competition over who gets what's left, you know, after we've paid all our essential bills. And as a result, nowadays consumers are much more prudent with their money. And I think book lovers are no exception. On Amazon alone, there are thousands, if not millions, of books that are made free every single day. There are loads of other websites that promote free books too. So there's almost no need for anyone to buy a book if they don't want to. Ben, what is your take on this?
Well, that's one of the things that I like. Did you say Ben? I'm sorry. Who did you address?
You.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Anyway, I think that the advent of ebooks is very beneficial in that way because you know you go to Amazon and you can buy a print book for $14 and you can buy the same ebook for $7 or $8. And in the case of most of us who are independent, self-published authors, my books are $1.99 for 2 of them, and one which is a lot fatter is It's $2.99, so it's much more accessible. I mean, I get an email every day from the Fussy Librarian. I don't know if you know about that
No.
website. You should. It's Google Fussy Librarian. It's a person who's a book reader who puts out an email daily with book bargains, some of which are free, many of which are 99 cents. And I have probably at this point in a few months maybe a dozen or so books, mostly for 99 cents and occasionally for free. And once in a while, if it's an author that I know, I might spring for $1.99. You know, I'm a big spender. But anyway, I think that the existence of the ebook as such is a boon to those of us who are doing our own publishing, because it makes people able to buy our books for not a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. And then how about you, Max? Do you think authors should just throw in the towel and give up any more hope of making a living from writing? If not, what can an author do?
Okay. So yeah, my belief is absolutely not. I don't think anyone should ever give up on their own voice, and I think that's the key lesson here. And I say this expression regularly, which is there are two types of writers: people who write and the people who get published. And right now, I think it's a great time to put your story out there. And when I say publish, I use it very liberally. So I mean, whether it's a blog post, a book, or a guest post on someone else's space, putting your voice out there is important, and making money in that space from writing is the simplest anything. It is actually simpler for anyone to just jump in, learn a new skill, and offer it to people, because we're looking for great stories to be told. We're looking for people to do practical stuff like writing our resumes so we can get jobs to fill in those gaps in our pockets. And yeah, that's why my whole book is based on the premise that writing is about connecting with your reader, building that relationship, so that way they want to buy your book in spite of what other challenges they may have.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned something, about offering writing, for CVs. I didn't get that. So basically, are you sort of hinting that authors could also go and do freelance gigs?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, so I guess I answered writers in general. Authors specifically, I think the most important thing to do is to build that audience. And rather than thinking of the book as the final accomplishment, think of it as just an extension of the relationship you're building every day with your email list. So converging everyone into one space where you can have a regular, in my case I say daily, conversation with them. That way they're people that were once just passerbys, now they're fans, now they're touting your name, they're evangelizing, they're buying your books, and they're allowing you to build opportunities where you can either self-publish a second book, third book, fourth book, or now you can say, hey, I want to go to a big publisher, I have 5,000 people behind me, let's promote this book in a way that I hadn't before, and I help you, the publisher, I help myself in my career, and most of all, we're helping the audience hear the stories that they want to hear.
Oh, fabulous! No, that's good to know. Ethan, what three tips would you give an aspiring author with regards to making a living from writing full time?
First and foremost, make sure you have a thick skin.
Yeah.
You're going to get that. I mean, you're going to come across many people who, think your writing is great, and then you're going to have those people who don't like your writing. So be prepared to listen to both. You don't want to get too up from a compliment. You don't want to get too down.
Yes.
Other thing, absolutely. So the other thing is never stop writing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Keep writing. And writing, like for me, writing is a passion, and I enjoy it so much. Yeah. And now I'm at the point where I will never stop. And so, and the other thing, folks, is write for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if you're trying to please other people, it's not going to work. Write for yourself, tell your story, because everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Maybe people have 10 stories. Get it out there. You never know.
Oh, good. No, that's quite good. So have a thick skin. Never stop writing. Have a thick skin. Write for yourself. Yep, I remembered. Perfect, perfect. Thanks for that. How about you, PJ? What has been your monetization strategy as an author?
Well, monetization, that's it's an interesting concept, but putting your books out there, you have to write a good book to begin with. You just it starts with a good book. Getting it out there and blogging. I blog regularly. I blog 4 times a week, if not more, and on my website, I have it associate. So Amazon, I have affiliate accounts, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. There are others, and it's maybe right now only like $20 a month that I'm making on it, but it'll grow.
Yeah, well, $20 isn't, it's quite a lot. That's extra, If someone gave me $20, a month, I would be very happy with that. So that's good. So when you blog, how does that turn into money? I know you say you've got your affiliate account, but how does blogging 4 times a week and having your affiliate account, how does that then get you, $20?
Well, blogging is keeping your presence out there. It's also your writing style. You're introducing people to how you write, and hopefully you'll find those people that enjoy your writing voice. So blogging is doing that for you. When you're putting it out there, you're getting people familiar with your name, with your writing style. The affiliate accounts come in with mostly with my books. That's how I do it. I have my books for sale. I use my affiliate links whenever I am promoting my books, and anytime anybody buys through an affiliate link, I get a little bit of a kickback. Okay, right. So basically what you're saying is blog regularly so that your name is out there more, because if you only just let your book, then no one's really going to know, whereas if you're blogging, then that helps you to sort of stand out a bit more, and then it gives you more visibility, and in turn, when people find you and then see your link, then if they're going to make a purchase, they're going to use your affiliate links rather than going on Google or on Amazon and just doing a random search for your name to come up. And that, in turn, gives you extra money. Did I get you well? Exactly.
Perfect. Yeah, just making sure that I'm on the same page with you guys. So we've heard it all from our experts today on what they do to sort of help to get money out there. So now that the serious stuff is out of the way, we're going to have a look at Ethan's book. Now, Ethan, please, you're going to have to forgive me if I don't pronounce it well, and you'll have to tell me how to pronounce it if I pronounce it incorrectly. So your book is called Sidereus Nuncius?
Sidereus Nuncius, yes, and that is Latin for starry messenger.
Hey.
It's Latin for what again?
Starry messenger.
Right, okay, thanks. So, Sidereus Nuncius is book 1 in the 4-part series called Opportunus
Adest, which is loosely translated from Latin, which is here at the opportune time.
Ah, right, you just wanted to just make me, look, I can't pronounce, okay. So, I'm just going to go SN. So Sidereus Nuncius SN will appeal to all types of readers, but especially science fiction and fantasy lovers. Okay, it is the first of a 4-part apocalyptic saga. He has loads of big words in his bio. God help me today. Okay, so it is the first of a 4-part apocalyptic saga that tells the story of events that lead to the end days for Earth. There is conflict, love, complex characters, and plenty of unfolding mysteries. You know what? I should have actually let you do all this saying but yourself, Ethan. Anyways, I will continue. Nothing is what it appears to be, and the surprises truly continue until the last page of the series. The book unlocks the door to an alternate history for Earth and the entire universe. Now, those sounds interesting already. It is pure entertainment that combines elements of science fiction, fantasy, and religion. There are explanations behind the legends, myths, fairy tales, and folklore we have all read about. SN also dives into various parts of the Bible, including the book of Revelations, and challenges the things we have been taught from it in a big way. Ethan, right, okay. what inspired you to write this book? I'm going to give you a string of questions so you can just answer it as you go. 1, what inspired you to write this book? How long did it take? Did you do any research to come up with the information? Phew!
Well, I'll tell you, in terms of me being inspired to write it, ever since I was a child, and I was raised a Catholic, and I always had a very curious mind. So I had so many questions growing up as a child that I would ask my parents. Why does this happen? Why are there stars up there? Why are there supposedly UFOs? There were so many questions. How were the pyramids built? I had all these questions. My parents couldn't answer it. My teachers couldn't answer it. So I was like, I needed some sort of outlet for all this because I was a very curious child. And I guess in some way I'm still a child, and I'm still very curious.
Yeah.
So that hasn't changed. But now we fast forward to around 2009, and I had come back from the Middle East from a tour, and I had read up on Alan Moore. If anybody's familiar with Alan Moore in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what he did was he took all of the Victorian literature and put a spin on it.
Oh yeah.
And the character. And I was like, I want to do something like that. Like he created this whole other universe. And I said, well, I want to do that as well. So then I started compiling some information, and then there were things going on in the Middle East, and so I did a couple more tours. And so then when I came back in 2013, I sat down with my wife, and I had all these ideas, and she said, listen, why don't you just start writing? And I said, you know what, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to start writing. So then I did. And I started writing, and then I came up with the story that you have now. I wanted to answer a lot of those questions. I wanted to answer questions about mythology. I wanted to give birth to an alternate universe. And so this story here, so the whole thing of opportunities at death here at the opportune time is basically of extraterrestrials or more advanced beings that come down and give us nudges from time to time. So they come down at the right time, and that's where here at the opportune time.
Right.
Title. Segilola Nuncius, that particular title is Starry Mystery because there's a character in the story, his name is with a particular.
Hey, we're losing you, Ethan. I don't know if anyone else can hear you, but I'm losing you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
Audio-wise.
thing, and I was sort of hoping that it was just me, because it sort of echoes almost like you're in water.
Is this better? Is this better?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Sorry, you guys aren't
I
hearing.
think speaking as a film director, I can give you a hint. If you get that microphone closer to your mouth, you get a better sound.
That world-class expertise. Thank you.
How are we doing now?
Oh,
Yeah.
much
It
better.
was great. Yeah, I think it was just a movement from before. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
move forward, okay. Because I'm having to hold the phone because I was having computer problems. So,
Gotcha.
so did you guys catch? I hope most of what I said.
Oh yeah. You just trailed off in the last bit, so we didn't lose the essence of it.
Okay. Well, fingers crossed. When it's uploaded onto the podcast, fingers crossed. I'm crossing both fingers and both toes and hoping that it'll sort of record well. But yes. Okay. No. Do continue, please.
Okay, so I was inspired by Alan Moore and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I was also inspired by The Lord of the Rings and just this grand spectacle. So I wanted to create this story where things slowly unfold. The first story I introduce a number of characters, and then the whole universe gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then at the very last story, and then that's when everything comes to a head.
Okay. Fabulous. Thank you for that. Okay, so we've sort of given a nice intro into it. If there's a potential for spoilers, so if you don't want to hear the spoiler about the book, then you can fast forward now. But this is just sort of, the other guests, telling us what they think about the book. So we'll start with you, Ben. As you read the book, what feelings did you get? Did the author deliver for you with his work?
Well, the first feeling I got was I wanted to read the next book,
Wow.
which I think is probably a good thing for our author, Ethan.
Yeah.
No, I really have. I've always liked science fiction. I haven't read a lot of it lately, but in years past, I devoured all of Heinlein's stuff and
Yeah.
what's his name, Ray Bradbury, and even the early Kurt Vonnegut stuff was kind of science fiction. I mean, the planet Trafalmador, where the character, the people, they communicate by tap dancing and farting. I mean, it's a combination of hilarious humor and sci-fi. But one of the things I liked about the book, Ethan, was that I was raised in a very religious family too. I was raised as a Baptist, and I got away from that in my early 20s. But one of the things that I liked about the book is the way you dealt with some of the teachings of the Bible and how you use your character who had a larger perspective than we humans interpreted and reinterpreted and corrected some of that stuff. I found that to be quite fascinating. So I'm really interested, and I hope that when this podcast continues, you will tell us where we can get the other books, because I do want to read them.
Yay! Well done, Ethan. Well done. Well done. Okay, I'll calm down now. Max, when you read the book as well, how else do you think the book could have played out? What could have been different?
For me, it was, and it's interesting that. So actually, I'll say two things because I hate to interrupt. So I always keep my thoughts until I get a moment. So one, I want to jump back to what PJ said with her strategy. It's something I definitely agree with. I teach it every day with my audience and my partners. But I'm gonna drop the F-bomb and say frequency. It's the F word that people are afraid to say, but frequency. Build a relationship by frequently saying things to your audience. Tell us about your day, tell us about your life, why you wrote your book, and every day leave us a link where we can actually look at that book and buy it directly.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you guys were saying with Alan Moore, Ethan, it's interesting that you said that because that was going to be my note where I really like this story, but it would be so cool to see you just throw us into the world without giving us so much supporting material to describe the context. So when we're thinking about Alan Moore when he did his Jack the Ripper graphic novel, which I can't think of the name right now, what else did he do? Or V Vendetta, which is more accessible to other people. We didn't say, oh, what got Guy Fawkes upset. It was, no, this guy's blowing up buildings, and we figure out why after the fact. So you're just thrown into this world of chaos and controversy, and then the story is revealed by just seeing the actions of the different people as they relate to each other. So everyone's always talking about the whole beginning, middle, and end, and what I say is, yeah, every story has that, but it doesn't mean you have to absolutely start at the beginning. Throw us into the mix, we'll figure it out for ourselves because we're smart, and we'll want to turn the page because we need to find those answers.
You know what? That is really, really, really good feedback because I love fantasy books, and I really struggle when authors they start off and they go really slowly, and then they start telling us about the colors and the world. And I just put the excitement bit, go to the excitement bit, let me get the adrenaline going. Just as I said, the few books that I do give 5 stars are the books that follow that format, that you just go in and you just start with boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
So I can
and that's the thing, yeah. No, and I agree. It's the conflict, because the conflict works in 2 ways. It's the conflict within the story, but it's the conflict of we need answers, give us answers. So, for instance, in your book, the first 3 chapters, we have them hanging out at the museum. What if that's the first thing we read? Or the other chapter where he's just taking stock of his new surroundings. What if that's where we started? And him taking stock of his new surroundings is us taking stock of the context. So it's we're thrown in, and the conflict is on our end, not on his end. It's who is this person? Why should I care? I need to turn the page to figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you did everything correctly. That would just be something for the audience more so in their storytelling.
Yeah, but I think it's good feedback though because I love. Shoot, sorry. Did you hear that?
No, not on my end.
Sorry, someone called me on Skype. I was Sorry, but if you didn't hear that, then that's
Uh-oh.
fine. That doesn't matter too much. Yeah, but no, seriously, that's good feedback though, because like I'm reading a book from another author, and I will come back to that later. And whilst it was interesting, I was struggling to make progress with it because it's been very slow, where they've sort of been doing a lot of the introductions, and I'm kind of like, and it's quite similar because it's an alien abduction, and it follows the same format as your one, where there are like extraterrestrials that gave mankind their powers, and they created mankind, and you know all the the pyramids in Egypt, and you know it was following that concept. And but then why I was struggling is because they were making it really slow. It's like, oh, she went to the hospital, she was in the hospital. You just think, where's the excitement, you know? But okay. So yes, conflict is good. Make it exciting. I always go for books that are really exciting, and then they tell you the character as they go back to what happened before. Whereas when you start off at the really slow bit where it's like, oh, the color is blue and they drank water. It's kind of like, please move on. Okay, that's fine. How about you, PJ? When you were reading the book, what was the best part for you? Or did you hate it?
I'd never say I hate I'd never say I hate a book. I know how much work there is involved in getting a book to publication. I think what I liked the best about it was the correlation with the Bible and how he made us think a little bit about what we have learned about the Bible in the past, and that maybe there is something different that we haven't thought of, but we've been indoctrinated to believe in a certain way. I thought that was really an interesting concept.
Oh, good. Okay, so guys, have you read any indie books in the last year? If so, which ones were the best ones for you? Why did you like it? Let's start with you, Ethan.
There was a story called Anatomy of a Fallen Angel, and it was written about these angels or rather these winged creatures that are captured by humans, and their organs are harvested so humans can actually live a bit longer. And it really, the story really just sort of focuses on us as humans and how our prejudice and how our other things that we do impacts our environment. It was just really a fascinating story. I enjoyed it very much.
Okay. See, now, when you say fallen angel, and I guess this is me being too much of a geek, do you know what comes to my mind?
What's that?
Doctor Who. The fallen angel. You blink!
Yeah, the angels. Yes. That is by far one of the best characters in like cinema, TV, and media in like decades. But yeah, good call.
Blake, right? And seriously, okay, so now in London, right? And I love one of the things I like about London is that you have a lot of buildings with characters. And so where I used to live before, when I'm looking outside of my kitchen window, there were like all these, not angels, but sort of gargoyle type things and seriously, every time I look out there, I think, oh my god, what if Doctor Who was real?
Yes.
What if?
That is the genius of that story. Oh my god, Stephen Moffat is really good at that. And I can geek out on Doctor Who, but I'm so glad you said that because he has this knack for telling stories about things that we all think about, like what happens when you're not looking at an angel, or what happens in the corner of your eye. And yeah, absolutely. Those human fears.
If I can just make a quick confession about Doctor Who, believe it or not, I have never seen an episode of Doctor Who as much as I love science fiction.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, so Ethan, then how about you, PJ?
I've seen one episode.
Yes, at least. Thank God.
You remember which one?
She's seen one episode. Okay, after today, you guys need to go BBC iPlayer. Go and check out one episode of Doctor Who. How can you know what?
But no, let's do it this way though, because you and I know that they can go to season 3 and watch the episode Blink, which will not only talk about everything we discussed, but it won't ruin the show for you. It's not out of sequence, and the main character is barely in the episode. If you do not like that episode, you'll never have to go back to the series. But if you do, I would recommend either going back to season 1 or going to season 5, which again, it is a show about time travel. you will not watch it out, you can watch it out of sequence and it won't disrupt the storytelling.
Okay, now he's a diehard fan. Okay, even I don't even know all
Yeah.
all the seasons on the top of my head. Now he's worse than me. But yes, please do go watch an episode. You know, how can you not watch Doctor Who? Fallen Angels. You've read the Anatomy of a Fallen Angel. You've read the book. Now you need to go and see Doctor Who put it in real life and scare you, right? And then you will think, what if those angels?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
It's good. Even my little human, she's been quiet all day today, and she's laughing at that. Okay, so how about you, Ben? What indie books have you read in the last year? What was the best one, and why did you like it?
Well, as I said before, I learned about a few indie authors from BookBub and Fussy Librarian, and I came across an author by the name of Jerry Hatchett.
Okay.
Like the hatchet that you chop with. And
Yes.
the first one of his books that I read, which, by the way, was one of the freebies that I got on, I don't remember whether it was BookBub or Fussy Librarian, but it was called Unallocated Space. And it was about a guy who was a former Special Forces soldier. I don't know if he was a Navy SEAL or one of those superhero kind of guys who had become a computer geek. And he was a specialist in hacking and so forth. And it was this wonderful mystery story about computer hacking and stuff like that set in Las Vegas. And it was really a true page turner. I mean, I had to stop reading it. I usually, my pattern is to read when I get in bed. And I usually read for a couple of pages, and I get drowsy and I go to sleep. I had to stop reading this book in bed because I didn't want to stop reading. I just keep going. So I had to find something a little less exciting. But I read another one of his books, which I guess was the whole idea of giving away a freebie, and looking to find the rest of his books because I really think he's a fabulous writer, and he is a self-published independent writer. And I highly recommend him if you like that type of book. Jerry Hatchett is his name.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for that. And how about you, Max?
Oh man, I can talk about books and media in general all day. So I broke it down like this. What's important to me is diversity in both who's telling the stories and what the stories represent. So Princeless by Jeremy Whitley. It's a comic book series about princesses that save themselves. So instead of waiting for a prince to come, slay the dragon, come to your window, and bring you back home and marry you, there's this girl who's raised and she's trapped in a dungeon in the castle, and she's just like, this is all just ridiculous. Why are we doing it this way? It doesn't make sense. So it's just always attacking concepts of race, sexism, gender stereotypes, this, that, the other, and it's just beautiful. And the characters are young adults, so they're dealing with adult issues in very responsible ways, and I love it. So that's Princeless by Jeremy Whitley. But more than that, the book last year that really moved me was Cress in Waterby, so that is C-R-E-S-S in Waterby. And that is by Joy with an E Johnson, and it's the story of a mulatto girl born in the 1800s of a dead mother and a father who denied responsibility for her. So she goes through childhood always being among other whites and blacks, and even her caretaker, where she's just always isolated and doesn't belong. So we're focused on her identity with dealing with racism and sexism and how disturbing it is, but feeling helpless all the while, even though she knows better. And it's just awesome. She never falls victim to the issues that she's dealing with, and it's just highly impressive. It's, I believe, the first book by Joy Johnson, but she has several others, and it's a series, so I want to see where the story takes her throughout her life.
Okay, so now there was something I didn't get. That you said born of a dead mother. So does that mean I didn't get that? Was that this is just that her mom is dead?
My phrasing is awful then. So her during childbirth, her mom dies, and so her black mother dies. White father is still around, but again, he just denies responsibility, and that becomes part of the storytelling as well.
Ah, okay, no, that's fine. Because when you said born of a dead mother, I was thinking, was the mom dead and then they had to do some last-minute surgery to sort of rip her out of the belly, or something more exciting going on? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, PJ, how about you?
No, I'm involved in several writers groups here and on the internet, and I've I've been introduced some fabulous indie authors and so many different genres. Before I published, I was a reader, and as a reader, I would stick to one genre, which was the romance genre. Being in the indie world, I've been introduced to other genres which have really opened my eyes. And the
Yeah.
one book that really fascinated me in a sad sort of way is Pam Franklin wrote a book called My Five Sisters, and it's actually her story. She uh, was a child in Mississippi back in the 50s and 60s, and she had a sister. She had three sisters, but one sister in particular she was bipolar, but she also had multiple personalities.
Okay.
And Pam was the youngest of all the sisters, and the sister with the multiple personalities was the next closest to her, and she abused Pam quite a bit, mentally, physically, locking her in closets, burned her.
Oh dear.
And it was all her different personalities, and Pam learned from a little girl on how to recognize which personality she was dealing with on any given day, and she learned quickly how to handle that personality. And that's how she grew up. And she's writing a second book about that sister, which will be focused more on the actual sister and not Pam herself. But it was absolutely sad, but also fascinating.
No, that's quite interesting. Okay.
May I add something real quick?
Yeah.
Because I realized I promised my audience that I would say this on air. A third book the books that I mentioned have inspired a lot of my own writing that I do every day, and a third book that's just not only inspired my writing, the work that I do for others, and helped me build my business. And I promised I would share this with my audience. Is The Boron Letters by famed copywriter and marketer Gary C. Halbert. So he was incarcerated apparently for a crime he didn't commit. I don't know how true or not that is. And while he was there at Boron Penitentiary, he wrote a letter to his son 6 days a week. And what he's just lessons from a dad to his son about how to take care of himself in life, how to build a business, how to do the things that a lot of people think are difficult and are actually rather simple when you reframe it. So that's something copywriters like myself use every day to help our clients sell things. And it's something that anyone can take up today if they're the least bit interested in building themselves up and being more profitable with their ideas.
Okay. Thanks for that. Okay, so now for the fun part, right? My guests today have agreed to give away a copy of their book, well, most of them. So now you're going to have to tell our listeners, how do they enter for a chance to win a copy? Okay, let's start with you, Ethan. Shoot.
Honestly, you could just. But I'm giving away two signed. I'm giving away two signed.
Closer to your mouth. Closer to your mouth.
I'm giving away two signed copies. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can now.
Good. All right, and so listeners, 1 plus 1 equals 3.
We still can't hear you that well.
No.
But we did hear 1 plus 1 is 3.
Okay, can you say that again, Ethan?
Okay. To enter for a chance to win one of the two copies, listeners should type in 1 plus 1 equals 3 as a reply to the comment I will make on this video page on YouTube. And so I'll choose a winner March 20th. That's the launch date for my second book, which is called Hostess of Manny Generics. That stands for Enemy of the Human Race.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so I think I heard what he said. So just in case people didn't hear it, I'm going to be like Ethan now. I will be giving away 2 signed copies of SN. To enter for a chance to win one of 2 copies, listeners should type 1 plus 1 equals 3 as a reply to the comment I will make to this video's page on YouTube. I will choose the winners at random on March 20th, 2016, which is the launch date of HHG, which is book 2 of OD. Now, Ethan, really, Ethan, he's going to go and write out the title of the next book because I'm just not going to be showing myself up and trying to pronounce these Latin names. It's like Hostis Humani Generis. And I think if I remember, if I heard what he said, is like enemy to the human race. Is that correct?
Yes, and you know, and if I could just take a moment just briefly just talk about the Latin, why I did. And there was an ancient coin discovered.
Closer to your mouth, please, because I'm really struggling to hear you.
Okay, how's this?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a coin that was found, a French coin that was called Opportunist Guest. And it was a coin that I had read about when I was a child, and I was always fascinated because no one knew where that coin came from. And so that's also where I took the story. And being a Catholic boy growing up, some of the Mass was done in Latin. But as an altar boy, I had to learn Latin as well. And I know I didn't answer the question about research. And because you had asked me how much research did I do for the story,
Yeah.
I would say that I did a ton of research. But going back, also like Alan Moore, one of the things that I did was for all of my characters and words and things, I created an encyclopedia of the characters. So you will eventually. Also, was create a timeline that goes from 4.6.
Closer to your mouth, because I'm really struggling.
I created
It
a
might be an internet connection now.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing with technology. It lets people down everywhere. So, Ethan, when you're leaving a comment, you know all these things that you say, because I think I heard something about an encyclopedia. So can you write that down, you know, in the comment on the YouTube video that you're going to be making, so that at least anyone who comes back, they can actually see it? Because I think I heard it, but I don't know if anyone else listening might hear it. So please forgive us if you've not been able to hear Ethan. Technology can let you down, and it seems to have a way of doing this all the time. But continue, please, but closer to your mouth so that we can attempt to hear you.
Sure. So I agreed very much out of the and more, an encyclopedia for the characters, some of which you met in the first great video. Also, I created a timeline that goes from 4.6 billion years ago to 2020, and that is the timeline for this Earth, for this alternate Earth. And I think the reason I put real life
Okay, thanks for that. Ben, so at least now you know when the next book is coming out. So that's March 20th. If you wanna
Right
check
around.
it. I got it roped in. Okay. Okay. Wait. Oh, you know what? I've lost my train of thought. Ah, yes. We're talking about the giveaways, right? Ben, how about you?
Well, did you say Ben?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll give away the third book of my memoirs, which is the most current one. It starts and ends about 3 years ago when I finished writing, and it's called Waiting for Elizabeth. And it's my favorite of my 3 memoirs because it deals with probably the most unhappy plus the happiest 2 things that ever occurred to me in my life. After 29 years of marriage, Elizabeth and I split up, and for reasons that you can find out when you read the book. I won't bore you. But,
No spoilers.
to make a long story short, after several years, I think it was a total of about 6 before we really reconnected, and then another 4 before she moved back in, and then we got remarried in May of 2010. So I refer to her as my twice wife. Anyway, and the book is all set in the context of what I was doing in my career at that time, which was I was developing into a director, having been a producer and assistant director for many years, and a video editor, and I did a number of very big projects during that period.
Yeah.
One of which was a project I actually did with Elizabeth called the Better and Better series, and it's a bunch of videos for surgery patients. If you go to my website, you can find out about that. But anyway, that's the book that I would like to give away. And another reason is that I think that many of the people who bought that book tend to go back and read the other two books that preceded it. So I think it's a good sales technique for getting books read. But it's the one I'll give away. And as far as how it goes, I mean, I don't understand your technology about that, but if people just can put in the comment that they'd like a copy of that book, then however your methodology is for selecting who gets them. And I'm talking ebooks here, right? I don't have to mail a hardback copy written, do I?
Whichever one you like, and then you get to pick the winners at random. So however many listeners leave a comment. Things. Okay, let's put it this way, right? You're going to leave a comment on the YouTube page of this video, and then listeners will type "wacky racist" in reply to your comment. Then, on a date that you choose, which you will tell me in a second, you will choose how many copies do you want to give?
I'll give 3.
Okay, so you're gonna pick three comments or 3 people at random. Any 3 people that take your fancy. However way, if you wanted to go mini mani mo, that's totally up to you. And you will pick 3 people at random who've left a comment and said wacky racist to give, right? And on what date are you going to give it? Are you going to put it?
Let's do it at the end of March.
Let's give a date because people can just...
31st of March, midnight would be the deadline. How's that?
That's perfect.
What time zone?
Midnight. New York City time, Eastern time.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
So midnight New York time. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm sure that's 1st of April in London, so that's fine. Okay, perfect. And Max, now you're not really giving a giveaway, but you tell us what you've got for us today.
That's the thing, yeah, I don't know how to make it work. So what I'm doing is I finished this book in January, and it's meant to be a tool to help people be more confident with the stories that they tell. So it's how to write well and fast so that you publish more content and build your reputation. So right now I'm workshopping it. So what I'm going to do is host that conversation in the comments. If you enter into the comments, tell us how you felt about the show, what you learned from it, and specifically to get a free copy of the book, but also workshop it with me, meaning I will help you write your next best essay or at least that first part of your book, and to prove the concepts of the process that I use to write for my audience and my clients, that it works for other writers with their material. So just let me know what your least favorite part about writing. I will entertain your conversation in the comments, and then we'll work together to help you do that first step. And then when the book is complete and we know that it works for everybody, later this month I'll publish it and we'll start putting it out, and you will be the first to have that first copy for free.
Oh, perfect. Okay, PJ, what's your giveaway?
I will give away 3 copies of the first book in my Rolling Thunder series called Dog Days of Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is put in the comments Dog Days, and I will pick 3 winners from there.
Fabulous. And what date will you be picking us again, Tom?
On March 20th.
March 20th. Okay. Well, that doesn't really give people enough chance, though, because I know we are recording this a few days early, and it doesn't go onto the website. The podcast itself doesn't go live until the 15th. So will you be nice to our listeners? Give them a little bit of chance.
Well, what do you recommend? March 31st?
Okay, let's do that. That gives people chance.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, so PJ, so your one is dog books. Did I get that correct?
Dog Days of Summer.
Dog. You know what? I'm so rubbish. It's like I hear stuff and then to try and say it again, right? And then it's like it's all just gone out of my. So Dog Days of Summer. You will give one of how many copies?
3 copies of Dog Days of Summer.
Fabulous. And then people should reply to your comment and say what?
Dog Days.
Perfect. And you will give one of 3 copies. At the closing date would be March 31st. What time zone are you using?
I'm using Central Time.
What state is that, please? I'm in London, Central Time. It's like, this is what I don't get with America. It's like so many time zones in one country.
Let's not talk about Russia, though.
Okay, so what time is that? So Central Time, is that, what place is that? You said you're from Wisconsin? Is that, did I get it correct?
people will know what Central Time is. So it's just it's Central Time.
Okay. That's why I see, because I only just know GMT. It's like everything I always go London
6 hours
time.
past GMT. Yeah, if that helps you.
No, that's fine. Okay. I think. Such exciting giveaways. Well, if you're listening to the show and you want to get a copy, then please start typing now. The link to the podcast or the video itself on YouTube is in the show's description, so you simply just need to click and then go to the relevant author and reply, leave a comment as they've said, to be able to get, entered for a chance to win. And they will pick at random at the dates they've given. So there's that. And then just to go back to what we had said earlier on, about monetization strategies. When you're starting out as an author, unless you're extremely lucky, you wouldn't want to quit your day job within a month of releasing your first book. I know a lot of authors who have been in this, several years, and they're still keeping their, their day jobs. But you would want to be able to get some sort of money out of it, even if people write because they like what they're writing or they like writing. Bills still need to get paid. Okay, so as much as we don't like to talk about money, bills are essential demons that we have to deal with, and they need to get paid. So some tips that I would like to give to sort of help a little bit. It's definitely not going to make a dent in the bank, but every little penny counts, I think. Okay, so the first one I'm going to say is, if you have to do one thing and one thing only, make that investment and get an author website. If you don't know why, well, please just don't ask me. Just go on Google and search, why it's important for you to have an author website. But this is an investment that I personally think will pay dividends for you at a later stage, because you're building your brand as an author. And my little human has woken up, and she wants to get heard now. She's contributed. She's like, yes, she sees mommy doing all her website management and stuff like that in the middle of the night. But yes, it's really important that if it's one thing you're going to invest in for yourself, because that's your brand, that's your business, that's how people find out about you. So that's what number one thing that you need to do. Once you have your website, make sure that it has a blog. And, like PJ said earlier on, that you regularly post new articles to it, or you put in new blog posts. You can register on sites. If you don't know what to type, there are loads of people out there who are looking for guest post opportunities. And so, that you would have opportunities to actually put new content on your blog. Again, if you're not sure why it's important, go and do a Google search. Yes, see that little human being's laughing about that. Now, also, one of the things that I like about technology when it's not failing you is that it gives you a lot of opportunities. So once you have your blog, go and link it to your Goodreads page. So obviously that means you need to be on Goodreads. If you don't use, Goodreads, I talk about Goodreads all the time because that's what I use. I can't speak for any of the other ones out there. If you use any of the other ones and they allow you to link your blog to your page, then so be it. But you need to link it just so that it gives your blog and your website more visibility. And I think at the rate that I talk about Goodreads, Amazon or Goodreads or whoever should pay me some sort of money for talking and promoting them all the time. But anyways, that's that one. So once you're doing that, you're going to be getting traffic to your author website. And then this is where the fun comes in now. Once you're getting traffic coming into your website, that's when you can monetize it. Because if you don't have an author website, your chances of getting money is zero. But when you make that investment and get your website, then you start posting content that people want to read, then it increases your chance of getting money. So once you're getting traffic to your website, you can now monetize it. So one way of doing that is using Google AdSense. So depending on how you set it up, it gets you paid per view or paid per impression, because I think it's called CPM or pay per click for AdSense. So when if you go on Google, you can check that out, and then it's got a lot of options, information that you can get. Another way you can do is that you can put banner ads. If you don't want to use Google AdSense, you can put banner ads on your blog, This one you can manually add it, and I think if you go to your dashboard or whatever it's called, so if somebody decides, they like your content and they want to advertise, so basically you're probably having to go to approach companies or service providers to say, okay, I like your service, or and I think there's also the ClickBank one, where it's like an affiliate website, so you can go there and put banners on your website. So the main thing is with your author website, you're getting traffic coming into your website, and it's that traffic that you're utilizing to get your, the little pennies or whatever it is that they pay you. So AdSense is a very straightforward one. You set it up, you forget it, you just go and check on your dashboard, and depending on how many traffic, because I think most of the time they pay CPM, which is cost per whatever M in Latin is, for 1,000. So if you're getting thousands of people coming into your website, you will start seeing trickle of money coming in. If you don't want to then use the AdSense, then you then go to the other affiliate website. So ClickBank is one of the few ones that I do know of. And then you can then manually add in banners to your blog. Or if you don't want to use those ones, then you can approach companies manually. I mean, the difference between the two AdSense and the one that you do manually is that with AdSense, you don't really have direct control of which companies appear. Google does that automatically, whereas with the other option, you get to choose which companies you want to put on your website and for how long you want to do that. And then another thing is I've noticed, because Google now owns YouTube. Is that correct, guys? I'm not saying rubbish.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, it's a unique partnership where YouTube is like still its own thing, but it's for what, 6-8 years now.
Yeah. So the thing is, so from what I've read is that when you go and do a search on Google, you find that more times than not, videos come up first. So if you post videos regularly to your YouTube channel, then you'll find that when something that is, the keyword is related to whatever it is that you post, you will find that your video post, will come up above the generic, text options. And so when you then have traffic going to your YouTube channel, you can also make money from it, and there's a monetization option. Again, this is almost like Google AdSense, and it's quite straightforward to set up, and all you just need to do is click monetize. But then the main thing in which I have to stress is that you need to be getting traffic to come to your website or to your YouTube channel, because again, if no one is seeing your content, no one is going to take action. Okay, so that's the thing. So make sure you just join. Also, like I think it was PJ that also said this as well. Join Amazon. So if your books is being listed on Amazon, then you need to join Amazon's affiliate program, because for every time someone buys your book or anybody's book or anybody's product via your affiliate link, they give you a small commission. It might not break the bank, but it might all be pennies. But at the end of the day, it still all counts. I think you would rather have that penny in your pocket than leave it for Amazon. So yes, that's a decent, just my top monetization strategies, to give. And my little human, she's a bit grumpy because it's bedtime. So at the moment it's 5 o'clock in London, and oh my God, I think we've gone for way more than half an hour. We've just had such an exciting time that it's gone too long. But yes, okay, I'll stop now. But anywho, so just mix and match all of these things that I've said, and you will see a cumulative effect. But don't just take my word for it. Just do your own research. If you know any other monetization strategies that can help an author out or any other business person, especially in the short term, then please do leave me a message either on YouTube or on my website or on Twitter. I'm always looking to learn new stuff, so please, if you know any other options, then please do leave me a comment. If it all sounds complicated, please feel free to connect with any of the authors on the show, because they've been on this journey, they've got some experience. And I think the beauty about being an author that I've found is that authors, well, not all of them, but some authors are willing to help. Well, more authors than not are willing to help each other. So, feel free to reach out to any of them. I'm sure they're not going to say they're not going to be available. But yes, please do feel free. But then if you want, you can also give me a shout out as well. Oh yes, that's my 15 minutes of fame there. Okay, so that's it for today. If you would like to be on the audience for my next show, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notifications on when it's being recorded. If you would like to sponsor the show, please do get in touch. I would really appreciate that. Now, thank you, lady and gentlemen, for coming on the show. It was great having you.
Thank you. No, that was so much fun. Wait, I want to make. I'm probably done at all of this, even though I am a millennial. I don't know half this technology. Where do we leave a comment? Is it in the chat, or there's no box for me to leave a comment about the giveaways that we offer?
when we finish recording, so for those that don't know, we record via Google Hangout because as you figured out, we're all in different time zones in different countries, and the TARDIS is not yet available to go and pick everyone up at the same time. I wish I had access to the TARDIS. Oh gosh, you know what? I think
We're all in different time zones, though, so this is like a timey-wimey episode in and of itself.
Yeah, yeah. But wouldn't it be great to have access to the TARDIS, right?
Yes.
I think,
Absolutely.
but then it's like I feel so geeky, right? Like all these things just come out that people don't know about me. But yes, and then the beauty, I have to just say this because I feel really, really smart right now that I do know this. TARDIS, time and relative dimension in space.
Yes. All right, my woman. I dig it. I dig it. We have to do our own private Doctor Who episode. We can teach a lot about writing, like deconstructing the way that Stephen Moffat leads the show. Like that could be a powerful episode. I'm definitely up for it if you want to do it. We can help a lot of people with that.
Yes, we can have like the Segilola Salami show, Doctor Who special.
Yeah, why not? When is the new season starting? Wait, actually, I am very serious. I am happy to help. But, alright, but no, that makes sense. I know when and where to leave my comment now. I just want to make sure I wasn't doing something like oversight.
So once we finish recording, it all then uploads, because I think I sent you guys the link earlier on. So it then uploads to that link, and then you can just go and leave a comment there. Then please do share the link with all your network and all your fans and followers, and tell them to leave a comment, because it's all of you guys that will help make the show a success, because I'm just one person with a little human being, just one beautiful little human being. So if I had loads of sponsors, for instance, now, then I can get a big marketing team behind me. But at the moment, it's just little old Mule. But thank you. We've gone more than our allocated 30 minutes. I seem to think I have so much fun talking with you guys that the time just goes away.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
To our listeners, thank you for tuning in and listening to us ramble until the end. I'm guessing we spent about an hour. If you like the show, please spread the word by sharing it with your friends and your family. You can connect with me online. My details are in the show's description. See you again next week on the Segilola Salami show. Thank you. If I can find the...
Bye, everyone.
I know.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.